Good day, everybody. I'm Nix, and thank you for watching BraveArms. Today, we are reviewing the VRTS CWG Belt rig. If you're watching us on Facebook and haven't liked the page yet, consider liking the Facebook page. It helps us out, and it's free. We plan to continue doing this, reviewing gear, all the gear that we currently have and the gear that we will be acquiring from here on out. So if you want a review on those, consider liking the page. And lastly, we have a YouTube page. We're starting it out. If I'm not mistaken, it's less than 100 subscribers. But if you can help us out, like after this video or doing it right now, you can go to YouTube and subscribe to our channel. It will really help us a lot. With all those socials out of the way, let's go to the reason why you're here. If you've been following us for a while, you'll know that I lost around 70 to 80 pounds. The old belt I was using, which was a war belt, wasn't fitting anymore, so I really had to change belts. I needed to get a belt that was immediate, like something that was available here. And so when I was scrolling around Facebook, I came across Vince Rock Tactical. Behind my back, she messaged Vince Tactical. Me and Vince were talking, so we became friends from there. Vince knowing what I needed, all of a sudden, this was at my doorstep. I came back from work and I saw this belt. I didn't pay for this belt because my girlfriend paid for it, but I was saving up for it and I was really looking forward to getting this. Okay, so with that full disclosure out of the way, let us go and review the belt. This is the VRTS CWG. So I asked Vince, what does VRTS CWG stand for? VRTS stands for Vince Rock Tactical Shop, and then CWG stands for Combat Wear Gear. So this is the CWG main belt, the one you see right here with the Cobra buckles. He gave me for free a soil eater, so it holds the tourniquet. I also got the CWG side-by-side pouches. It has two double stack pouches over here, and it has one rifle mag pouch for 5.56. I got the CWG dump pouch. I also got the CWG med pouch. And then I purchased separately, finally, the Sapphireland UBL together with the CWG leg strap. Let's start out first with the pricing. So at this time of recording, the SRP for like the main and the individual parts. The price of the main belt, so the CWG main belt, where everything's attached to. And it comes with the Cobra buckles, and before I forget, and it comes with an inner belt. If you're just gonna get the belt alone, it costs SRP at this time of recording 5,500 pesos. The CWG med pouch, this costs SRP 2,000 pesos. And then the CWG dump pouch costs 1,500 pesos. The side-by-side mag pouches, this one. So this comes as a set, and you can see it's all connected together. This set costs for 2,500 pesos. First, let's talk about the system. This belt system is a hybrid between a war belt and a competition belt with the use of an inner belt. With this inner belt, all you have to do is put it around your waist, through the belt loops, and put it in like that, and then get the belt, and then you put the belt on the Velcro. Okay, so let me tuck that in so you can see. What this does is, it allows you to have a very slim belt, like a competition belt, without moving around because of the inner belt and the outer belt being stuck together. It sort of clamps everything together, and the end result is everything stays put to where you set it up, but at the same time it's really slick. Like if you were to get inside the car to drive, like it's streamlined compared to having bulky pouches. And that's why I was really interested in this belt setup, because it was the hybrid competition belt style. That's how the belt system works. So what we have here is my teammate's belt. This is the Warrior Poet Society's Moly double belt. I think, if I'm not mistaken, this is like a partnership with Blue Alpha Gear, if I'm not mistaken. It follows the same principle. It has an inner belt, and then you have this belt. What I also like in my friend's setup, so that we can compare it to Vince Tactical, is that he has the Kiwi S-Tac pouches over here. Basically the same setup, but with like brands that you can find in the US. We're going to be comparing the quality of this to that. Let us begin reviewing the different components. Okay, so let's start with the belt. So Vince Tactical emulated a certain design but made it his own with these laser cut moldies over here. They're really good, especially considering that you get the whole belt with the inner belt and the Cobra buckle for 5.5. This, I'd say, is a job well done. I'll also say though that we also have other gear that are laser cut and the cuts are really clean. Like if you were to look at the edges, there's no white. This one has a little white, which I'm not really particular with, but it's just something to note. But other than that, the quality of the material he uses, it's really good. I was telling him the belt, it's kind of soft. When comparing it to this one, you can see like it's like double layers and it's it's on the stiffer side of things. The thing is though, there are two ways to look at it. One is, oh, I wish it was thicker. And another way to look at it is stiffness doesn't equate to durability. And based from what I see here, it looks like it's made of, and from what I can see here, it looks like it's made of good material anyway. And the positive of it being soft is that it's able to bend. So if you were to like sit on a car, sit on a chair, get into weird different positions, the belt is able to contort to you. It being soft is not a plus or a minus. It's something to consider. Another piece of equipment besides the main belt is the inner belt. With the 5,500 pesos, you get this inner belt. Actually, after getting the belt, I did message Vince Rock about it. So this is the Blue Alpha Gear version, and when we were comparing the inner belts, we did notice that I'm not sure if it will be able to zoom, but if you to look really close, you will see that the Blue Alpha Gear, they really took the time to make sure that the material is really dense and really thick compared to the Vince Rock. And yet, when it comes to flexibility, you can see they're the same. So on one hand, yeah, this inner belt is far from, let's say, this one, the Blue Alpha Gear. This one is this is like one of the best inner belts I've seen in the market. And you have to consider the pricing of this belt over here, like the main belt and the inner belt. It's, if this is 5.5, I think it's around the peso region. So it's not too far for something like this high quality. But you have to consider this is coming from the States. So shipping, access, availability, you don't know. You only find out if you get it online. This one, on the other hand, you can actually visit Vince Rock Tactical and take a look for yourself before you purchase it. Going back to the inner belt, the inner belt's good. So when I told Vince Rock Tactical about my sentiments of the belt, my initial sentiments, both the pros and the cons, like on the pouches, on the main belt, on the inner belt, what was really interesting was in like a week or two, he talked about the improvements. Like for the inner belt, he got like different materials, different styles. He was checking on them, and then he was looking for ways to improve the main belt. So at this time of recording, it's safe to say this is version 1, and maybe sometime in the future we'll be seeing version 2 of this belt. So next, the Cobra buckles. So these are original Cobra buckles. I like the finish. It's it does have a little shimmer, but it's not by much. I guess wear and tear will take that out. You can see, super secure. And then just pinch this too, and it gets out easily. And if you were to put it in, all you have to do is lock it in. Really nice and easy to use. And then I also like it has this like loop ring over here, so you can attach stuff to it. I'll just breeze through this quick. I use a Safari Land mid-ride over here with a QLS system over here, and the VRTS CWG leg strap. What it allows me to do is I have a QLS plate, the male one, on the holster, and it allows me to switch holsters really quick. So, for example, the holster in my teammate's gun, I can actually get his holster. And like, let's say if I was borrowing his gun, I can actually borrow his gun, get his holster, and switch it to my belt. The leg strap. So this is the VRTS CWG leg strap. So yes, for $1,000 it works, but you can see the cut of the cloth. Not as good as I'd like it to be. Me, I'm not particular, but I know there are people out there that are particular with like the fit and finish. So what I like about the elastic one, at least, so this is why I opted for the elastic ones, because you can really put it in tight, and then if you're moving, it will adjust accordingly. So we're done with the holster and leg strap. Next, we're going to working our way the soil eater. So interesting thing, I wasn't looking for this, and I think when we were talking about it, Vince was like, you should get it. I'm like, no, it's okay, I don't need to, I'm trying to save money. But he gave it anyway, so thank you, Vince Tactical, for giving to me, because now that I have it, I'm like, okay, all streamlined belt setup should have a soil eater, because from where it's positioned, wherever you want to position it, if you need to access the tourniquet, just pull it out. Really easy, and it's actually also easy to put back in. Really good piece of equipment. And as you can see, it keeps the profile of the belt slim. So I really like it. Working our way around, the next piece of equipment is the CWG med pouch. And what was interesting was when I brought this to the range, my teammates thought that this was the more expensive one, the way more expensive one. I think it was like 4 times the price. So if this is $2,000, I think it was like $8,000. And they thought it was the same one. But upon further inspection, we saw that the materials they used were denser. So like if you were to look at the stitching and everything, it was a lot denser. But after testing this for a month, rolling around, I used this in handgun mobility. It held its ground. So in terms of quality, this is good quality, and I'll even dare say excellent quality for what it is. I like the system. I got to appreciate it. For one, because it's easy to access. So it's like for most people, they usually position it here at the back, so that in case you need it, all you have to do is pull either of the tabs. It's both directions. Pull the tabs, and then you can access everything inside. The content size of it, I'd say, is 2 Glock 19 magazines worth of stuff inside. So you can put like a small bandage there. When I actually put stuff inside, I'll be making a review of what I put in it, so that like I'm gonna consult someone when it comes to first aid in the range. Oh yeah, then I didn't know this, but like my friend who's good in gears told me that you can actually even flip the indicator over here. So if you want it like less colorful but reflective, there's white and then there's red. For $2,000, for what it is, it's well worth it. I was gonna switch this pouch with my medical pouch and my war belt. The thing is, when you have a wire belt that's thick with a thick med pouch, you don't really notice how thick it is till you put it on a streamlined belt. So when I actually transferred it, I'm like, oh, that's a lot of like offset weight there. And then when I sat down in the car with my belt, I was like, oh no. That is where this pouch started to show its pros. Because of its streamlinedness, look how small it is. Because it is so streamlined, you can wear this without impeding much of your movement. This med pouch, highly recommend this. If you're buying the belt, I suggest you tag this along. Next one, the dump pouch. It's like any other dump pouch. So it's mesh, which I like. So you can sort of semi-see the contents inside. And then your empty magazines, you can dump it in. Like, it can fit a lot of stuff. Or, you can also put in your flashlight, marker. You can put all your stuff in there and it carries it. Actually, and like what we notice, especially when we teach, it's more than just dumping your empty mags. It's more of like an admin pouch. For $1,500, I say it is well worth it. And then what I like about it is it folds really well. Like if you were to fold it back, you can really tuck it in tight. That's what I like about it. There. You can tuck it in real tight. I think you can still do a better job, but look at that. Really streamlined. That's why I really like it. So for $1,500, really good addition to the belt. So then the last part, we are in the side-by-side pouches. So this is where it gets tricky, and this is why I borrowed my teammate's belt. So these are the original Kiwi S-Tacs. We'll go to this one first. So if you notice, hopefully I can zoom it in. If you notice, the insert here lines up with the cloth over here. Whereas the one of Vince Tactical, if you look at the insert, like good material also, the insert's of good material, and the cloth also is good material. But if you look at the insert, there's like half an inch away from the cloth, which isn't a huge deal. But if you're particular with the setup of your pouches, what this means is, so let's go first to the S-Tac. If I were going to be indexing my magazine, it's going to be really easy because the plastic's there with the cloth. So like, let's say go from edge, 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 edge. You can see easy to index, right? And it's really tight. So like, oh, easy to index, right? Because the insert and the cloth are lined up at the top. So it's really easy to insert the magazine when you need to. But the VRTS side-by-side pouch, because there's that excess cloth over there, there are times where if you were to insert it, that will happen. Let me try that again. So like there are times wherein if you insert it, you know, it's like, well then good, right? But a good number of it, like if you were to insert the mag, that will happen, wherein the cloth will scrunch in with the magazine, which is not bad per se, but it can get pretty annoying at times. So if you were to put it in, unlike the S-Tac, you can do it to the point that you're not looking. With this one, with the VRTS side-by-side pouch, you'll have to really pay attention to how you insert it. But once it's inserted, it's good to go. It's just that little part when you're not looking and you put it in and it crunches up, it can get annoying. It doesn't happen often, but it can happen. As where with the S-Tac, it rarely happens or it never happens because of the fit and finish. So what if you don't have a rifle for this pouch? What's the use of it, right? Well, luckily, it is the same or similar size as majority of cell phones. So it ends up as a cell phone holder. Something to think about. So what do I think about this? For the price of 2,500, for this same setup, you're going to be spending around at least 5,000 pesos. So this is double the price of this. Is it worth jumping to spending twice the price? Or you're better off with these pouches? The answer is it really depends on you. For some, they'll be totally fine with this. It's just being extra particular when you insert the mags. And I guess in a duty sense, when you're preparing your gear, you can take almost all the time in the world to make sure it's inserted properly. And then you just need to draw it when the time comes. But at the same time, like if you're really particular about it, then it's something to take note of. It's a good pouch, but there's a little room for improvement. But when those improvements are made, I'm sure this one can compete against the Kiwi S-Tacs. Now, the big question is, how did it feel as an end user? I am glad I switched to this belt from a war belt because with shooting nowadays, it's more than just durability. The design, layout, all these factors pull in together. And I'm glad that I'm updating. Remember, the last time I had the belt was 2015, and now it's 2021. That's like 6 years later. And I'll say this, so much of belts have changed for the better. You're now able to have streamlined belts that are able to be adjusted in a law enforcement or military lifestyle with the MOLLE straps and all. And yet, they don't have to be thick and bulky. I mean, not just this. Like, these belts in general, like, with all this technology and equipment, you can have a belt that's really catered to you while staying minimalist in terms of profile, but maximizing utilization. Being a good shooter doesn't mean that you shouldn't have as best of equipment as you can. It's just like a race car driver. You can be a really good race car driver, but if you have a crappy car, you can only do so much. But now we've come to the point where we have affordable options, and this is one of them. This is a really nice rig. Don't get me wrong. It's really, really nice, really solidly built. But in order to get this, you're gonna have to get it from abroad. You'll have to bring it in. Unlike this one, the biggest advantage of the VRTS CWG is that you can go to Vince Rock Tactical's shop and see it for yourself. And with his help, you can set it up the way you need it to. And I think that's really important. It's kind of like there's a really big difference of buying shoes online and going to a shoe store. So who's this for? If you're a weekend shooter like me, you go to the range, this is actually a really good belt. If you're just looking for quality, you're not looking for brand name, you're getting a lot out of this. And more than that, what I like about it is I'm budget conscious. And this belt setup is new to me. So I didn't want to go to this setup without knowing what to do. So if it weren't for this, I'll have to be spending maybe twice or 3 times the price before getting this. And then once I have it, I'll probably be changing this and that. When you run things, you're going to be changing stuff. I actually changed the med pouch from the bulky one and I put it back to this one. And the positioning of the holster, I changed it. The soil eater. It was the process of setting up something new that I'm happy I got this because it allowed me to understand how I as a shooter would use a belt like this. So what does that mean? It means that when I do plan to spend balls to the walls on, let's say, a Ronin Senshi belt, a really expensive belt, at least I'm familiar with the platform. So when I'm buying, I'm not spending extra on things that I might change. This isn't a cheaper option or a budget meal option. This is a value proposition of having that competition hybrid belt. And I'm really happy with this. If I were to change anything, I probably would have gotten the S-Tax straight. But having this, I'm not sad. I'm actually okay with this. It's just that thing that you have to be particular with this extra skin. But other than that, this whole belt setup, I'm happy with it. I'm going to be running this for a good while. I was looking at the Senshi belt, and I'll honestly say, I acknowledge that it's a really good belt. Most of our teammates use it, or I think all of our teammates use it. I'm the only one without it. And I'm okay with that. I will be running with this as long as I can. And then when I can afford, or there's something better, at least by then, thanks to the Vince Rock Tactical Belt, I'm able to explore this new belt lifestyle of the hybrid competition holster, so that when I save money and I'm gonna be spending it on something way more expensive, at least I know what I'll be purchasing from there. So yeah, guys, highly recommend. Check his Facebook page, message him if you want a belt like this. It's a really good belt. Really happy with it. So guys, if you reach this part of the video, on behalf of the BraveArms team, I just want to say thank you for watching. It means a lot to us. Check out our colleagues here in the shooting industry. We have Bad International, Downrange Daddy, Guns Pinoy, Imperator Tactical, Jet Tactical, Pew Pew PH, Steora Arms, and Vince Rock Tactical Shop. So check these guys out. Means a lot to us that we're all friends here. We're all trying to grow the community. And we'll see you in the next one.